y'all. I planted these on March 13th, I believe, so they're right at a month old, and I do this mass planting. I've yet to separate them and get them all sorted, and I'm considering putting those outside a little bit early too. This is how I grow all of our plants for our garden. I grow them in just this little shelf with no artificial lighting. Just we have a south facing window, so that's what we use here. And that's how we do it. We just do these like mass plantings like this, and if I can, I'll separate them out. This is what our greenhouse looks like in April. Right before we need to plant. Sometimes we go until March, like around Mother's Day, but it is starting to get full, and I really probably ought to pot up these tomatoes. I probably will do that if I don't end up putting some out in the garden. So I have a lot of work cut out for me, and also whenever I pot these up, as you can tell, I like completely run out of space. I'll usually put some up on the top shelf there, but I run out of space, so if I have to bring them inside, they're like all over the living room floor and it is a pretty big mess, and I'm really happy whenever they can just stay outside. So this is where we're at. It is really full and really bushy. Everything is pretty happy, and I think that's a pretty awesome thing to be able to grow them like this with no light, and basically all you need is some containers, soil, and water, and that's it. It's super simple, and they are doing amazing. We've got our tomato plants here, and the way I do mine is I just do the mass planting, and it has been about 1 month almost exactly since we started all of these plants, and they are super happy. We are having a lot warmer days now, so I'm able to put them outside, and the stalks are looking pretty good. A few in particular I am really excited to try this year that are new for me is this Shelby tomato. It is a paste tomato, and I really got into making like sauces and stuff last year, so I am really excited about that one. And then another one is the Tachi. That is another one that I'm really excited about. So I'm going to show you, since I do this mass planting, exactly how I pot them up. So it is really simple, and the number one thing to remember whenever you are doing this is to be sure and label each and every one, because whenever you have this many plants, I think we have like over 100, that it can get really confusing. So my favorite label that lasts out in the garden for years is a plastic blind and a number 2 pencil. That works great. So I'm just going to write a few of these. So we'll do Shelby just to show you. You write it like that, and they are super easy to tear, just like that, and then we can put them in the pot. So that is super easy, and I am not sure what I'm going to do with all these. I have way too many. I guess I will be giving them away again. I thought I might try and plant them all, but that is just too many. So another good thing about tomatoes, unlike the peppers you can't plant very deep, but tomatoes you can. So what I do, I just put just a tiny bit of soil in there, and tomatoes will set roots all along their stem. I don't know if y'all have ever had one fall in the garden. It will take root, so they root really easily. And what I do is I just carefully take them apart like that, put them in the pot, and then fill them up with more soil. So it is super easy, and whenever they start to put on more roots like that, and they have more support and more soil to get to, they start to get even stalkier. As you can tell, they're a little bit leggy. I don't use any artificial light or anything. I just put mine in front of a south-facing window. I find that I like that better than using artificial light, and plus I have a very tiny space, and these get really big, so I don't have a lot of space to work with. But that is super easy. That's all you have to do, and don't forget to put the label in there, because it is really confusing and you'll have like mystery plants if you don't. But it is super easy to do, and I am super excited about growing this variety and seeing how well it does. So we'll just do another one here. I'll put just a little bit of soil here, and then we just put it in like that and cover it up. And if where you need to cover it up is where these leaves are, you can just pinch them off like that, and let the soil go up that high too. So it's that simple, and these will be super, super happy to have even more space, and they will get even bigger and really happy. And I just bring these in, or I keep them outside as much as I can in the sun. And there is a hardening off process, so if you do have yours inside, you need to slowly introduce them to light. And but I try and keep these outside as much as possible. I bring them in if the temperatures get into the 50s. I don't like that, especially the low 50s. I try and bring them in. I was thinking about putting them out early, but I decided against it because there are a few days that are in the 40s, and I'm a little concerned. I know that that can stunt plants, so I want mine to be to be thriving, not just surviving. So that's why I'm doing that. And also, we need to remember to put that label in there like that. So here's where we ended up with all of the tomatoes. A couple of things I forgot to mention is I plant based on the garden planting calendar, and I have links to videos of that. And another thing, I also don't plant my tomatoes out until around Mother's Day, and also is it would be a good idea to go ahead and fertilize them. And another thing I do is be sure and bottom water. That helps to prevent diseases. We have a lot of blight around here, and that helps a lot. And this is where we ended up. I ended up with a whole lot that I'm going to need to give away, but I have some friends that have nurseries, so they will be happy to get all of that. Thank y'all all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.